Welcome back to DIY No Need to Cry with Ivelisse. Let's get started. Hi, my crafty fam, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. I have this beautiful bottle that has a raised design on it. I'm going to add roses and highlight that beautiful design. As usual, I prime my bottle with matte white acrylic paint. This time, I only gave it one coat because I'll be using pink as my final color. Once that was dry, I painted it using this pretty cameo pink. I only had to give it one coat. This paint gave great coverage. This bottle came with a small cork, and I decided to add a matching topper to it. I created it by gluing together two halves of a plastic ornament ball. I used the cotton swab to smooth the excess glue down. I did this because I'll be painting over it. If you want to keep yours clear for your project, don't use instant glue. Use something that doesn't dry fast so you can clean the excess off with a damp cloth before it dries. Also, you might have to put a rubber band around it until it dries if you do it that way. I prepped the topper the same way I did with the bottle. I gave it a coat of white, and once that dried, I gave it a coat of the cameo pink. While the bottle and the topper dry, I'll be prepping the napkins I'll be using. I started with 2 napkins, and as I created the design, I cut some more out. Doing it this way prevents me from wasting napkins because I don't always use the design as is. Once I cut them all out, I removed the plies. Here, I've already cut out 2 napkins. I cut one using the design as is, and I cut the other one out into single petals and smaller roses. I'll do another one so that you can see how I do it. You want to look at your rose design, and you can usually see smaller roses within it. Cut it to whatever size fits your design, then cut the rest of the rose into individual petals. Now that everything is dry, we can start to decoupage. Before I start, I take a piece of cling wrap and I crumble it up. Using it will help me smooth the napkin down. When I'm creating a design, I take my time to decide what goes where before decoupaging. Once I decided on the rose I was going to use for the front, I spread an even layer of Mod Podge on the spot I was going to place the rose. Place the rose, and using the crumpled up piece of cling wrap, gently smooth it out. You want to go from the center outward. I continue this process all over the bottle until I'm satisfied with the design. I stop now and then to let it dry before placing the next one. This way, it doesn't get ruined while handling. Seeing as it's the same process all over again, there's no need to explain it. I'll speed things up so you can see the placement of each one, and I'll be back with the final touches. I do the same thing to the topper. Once it was dry, I gave the entire bottle a coat of Mod Podge matte. And I did the same thing to the topper. To finish my design, I used some gold ink I had in my crafting supplies to highlight the original design on the bottle. If you're wondering why I used gold ink, it's because my gold rubbing wax dried up from not storing it correctly, and I ran out of gold paint, so I used what I had. I dabbed the tiniest amount on the raised parts and lightly rubbed it in. Using a wet cotton swab, I cleaned up anything I didn't like. It's not meant to be perfect, but I didn't want it to look too messy. I finished the bottle by tracing a piece of felt, cutting it out, and gluing it onto the bottom. To finish the topper and put it all together, I cut a slit in the cork big enough to fit the ornament tip into it. I glued the ball into the cork. I painted the cork using the same gold ink I used for the bottle and let that dry. I love how this bottle came out. It's so shabby chic. I love the way the pink and the green looks together, and that gold highlight was the perfect color to bring it all together. It's such a beautiful piece on its own, but if I wanted, I could seal it with a waterproof sealer and fill it with bubbles or liquid potpourri, and it would make a great gift. Just another idea on how you can use those empty bottles. As you can see, I decoupaged over a light color and it didn't ruin the napkin design. You can do this using any color you like. However, you have to use the lightest shade of the color you'll be using to do so. I have a video explaining this in more detail. Click the I to watch, or you can find the link in the description box below. Well, that's it, my crafty fam. I enjoyed making this bottle, and I hope it inspired you to make something of your own. Just as long as you remember to have fun, be creative, and make a mess. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to thumbs it up, as it helps the growth of the channel, and to show your support. If you're new to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing to get updates on future videos. And remember, do it yourself. There's no need to cry.